Today we're looking at Amazon Bedrock, a managed service to build and scale generative AI applications. And there are different foundational models available. And specifically today, we're just looking at getting started with Supabase vecs. So the Python vector client from Supabase, as well as Amazon Titan. So Amazon Titan here has kind of a range of different use cases. It can generate text and images. It can do semantic search, so we can generate embeddings. And so that's specifically the use case we're going to do today. So we're going to use the Titan multimodal embeddings to generate embeddings from both images and text, and then we can perform some semantic search over our images. So let's have a look at how we can set up vecs and Amazon Bedrock. So we have some documentation here in the vecs GitHub repository. I'll link it down below as well. And so we'll need the vecs client as well as Boto3, which is the Amazon Bedrock Python client. And then we'll need our AWS account credentials as well as a Postgres database with the pgvector extension. Now, the easiest way of getting started with a Postgres database with pgvector already enabled is to go to database.new. I'll select my Thought Web Dev organization here, and we'll say Amazon Bedrock test. And then we can generate a strong password. Now, the important thing is we need to remember our password because we need it later in the connection string. And then we can create our project here. Now, while our project is spinning up, we can go ahead and install the needed dependencies. So you can use pip install, for example, or here in my case, I'm using Poetry to manage my Python project. So you can see here I have my dependencies, the vecs client, so that's version 0.4.3, and then the Boto3 client, that's version 1.34.59. And then what we can do is, so if we're using Poetry, you can see that in the README, we can create our virtual Python shell. So activate the virtual environment with Poetry shell, and then we can say Poetry install, which will then install our dependencies from our project.toml. Great, so now we have our dependencies installed. So now when our project is up and running, the way that we can get our connection string is by going to the project settings and then the database settings here. Now we can use our connection pooler supervisor. You can look at the different modes, how to choose a pooling mode. So specifically, if you're working in serverless environments, you would choose the transaction mode. But if you want to kind of, similar to directly connecting to the database, which we're doing here, we can just do the session mode. And then so we can say here session mode. So we can just copy this here. And then we can go to our project. Now, ideally, we would set this up as environment variables. So make sure, to keep these details secret, don't commit them to Git. And then this is the password that I stored earlier. So we'll just put in the password here. And so now we have our database connection string set up. And then secondly, we need our Amazon credentials from our AWS account. So in my case here, I'm using this Amazon Bedrock Workshop Studio. So I can just get the AWS CLI credentials from here. So this is US West. Then we need the AWS access key ID. So we'll put that in here. So that's our access key ID. Then we need the secret access key. So that is this one here. And again, these are secret keys, so don't commit them to your Git history, but rather, you know, import them from an environment variables file, for example. Okay, and then our session token here. So now we have our database connection string and our Bedrock client set up. So now we can look at kind of what we're doing here is we have this seed script. So in the seed script, what we're doing is we are using our Supabase vecs client to create a client with our database connection. And then we're checking just, do we already have this collection? If we don't have a new collection, then we create this collection called image vectors. We're just going to use the 1024 dimensions, so 1024 dimensions here. So this needs to match up with our settings here for the output embedding length, the dimensions. So these need to match up. And then when we have our collection, we call this encode image, and we'll just have some images here. We can look at these. So we have this image here of a dandelion. We have some grapes. We have a bike in front of a red brick wall. And then we have this, you know, lovely person in a field, for example. Okay, so these are the images that we're using, and then we're just encoding these. So let's have a look at how we're encoding the images. So we're generating the embeddings. So the way this works with Bedrock, because we're making API calls to the managed Bedrock service with the Titan model. So what we need to do is we need to read our file as base64 string. So we have a method here where we can open the file path, and we can use the base64 library here to encode our image into UTF-8 base64 string, basically, and then we get our base64 string. Then we construct our Bedrock image body. So here we're basically just, we need to construct a JSON body where we specify the input image, which is our base64 string, and then our embedding config, we just say the output embedding length is these 1024 dimensions that we have. And then in the last step, we do this get embedding from Titan Multimodal. So this is the modal that handles text as well as images. And so the way this works, we use our Bedrock client and we call the Invoke model, and then we construct our API request where we have the body that we just constructed. Then we have the model ID, which is our Titan embed image v1. So that's our multimodal. Yes. And then just accept application JSON and content type application JSON. So this is how we're communicating with the Titan model using the managed Amazon Bedrock service. And then, so when we call our seed script here, we can do this now. We can say poetry run seed to start seeding our images. So you can see now we're generating our embeddings. They are being logged out here. So you can see we're printing the response here, which is our embedding. And then at the end, we're upserting our records into our images collection, and we print inserted images, and we're creating the index for better query performance. So now if we go back into our Supabase project, we can go to the vecs schema. So this is where our image vectors collection is, and we can see we have our vectors 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we can see they are of type JPEG. So the metadata JSON-B we can use to kind of pre-filter our queries, for example. Okay, and so now let's actually go ahead and do some querying. So we have a search method here. Again, we're creating our vecs client. We're getting our image vectors collection. And then what we're doing is we're again generating an embedding from Titan Multimodal. In this case, we're embedding the query string, the text. So this is our search string. And we're getting our text embedding here. And then what we're doing is we're querying. So we're searching for kind of semantic similarity. So that's our semantic search here. So we're looking, okay, for this text, which image is semantically similar? And then we're just limiting it to one result. So just give me the closest semantic kind of match for this query. And then we're filtering here. So this is how we can pre-filter by the metadata. So we can combine our semantic search with kind of additional sort of search criterias here. And then we're just getting the result, and we're opening up our result from the images. Okay, so let's have some fun. Let's fire off some queries. So you remember we had some images. We had a bike. So if we say poetry run search, and we say bike in front of wall, and we fire this off, so we generate our text embedding, and then you can see, we find our image here. Now, obviously, if you have some metadata attached to your image where it's like bike and wall, that's how you would generally search for that. But, here we can do semantic search. So we can say, for example, we had this image of grapes. So, if we say Jesus turned water into what? Now, obviously, you really need like a lot of context of like human history to know that this is related to wine. But so now if we fire this off, oh, we get the grapes, right? And so this is the really powerful thing here with our semantic search, that we're kind of, generating these embeddings, and then we're performing similarity search over these vectors. And so that is pretty cool. Maybe a last one, we can say, happy remote worker. Let's see what is semantically most similar. There we are. Yeah, so this could be someone just sitting there with their laptop, just working happily from this sunny field. So there we are. This is how you can get started with Amazon Bedrock, Titan modeled, and Supabase vecs. Really easy to get started, and we'd love to kind of see what you're building with this, and do let us know in the comments below what else you'd like to learn about, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.